Hi, I'm Zach Savage from Underwater Lights Limited, coming to you today from our lighting studio down here on State Road 84 in Fort Lauderdale. Today we're going to be looking at the QT100 underwater light. The light comes in two options. It's either white or blue or full color change. So we're going to take a quick look at the full color change. This is the box it will come in once you've scored your security label. Take the insert out. You will have your instructions as always. You will have the underwater light, and you will have the DMX color change driver. So we're going to take a quick look at the underwater light first. So the underwater light is very similar to all of our other through hole lights. It is a 2 3/4 inch hole cutout, or 72 millimeters, and it fully exchangeable from the inside and comes with a new nickel plated front face. We've changed from a black Xylem coating, which we used for a couple of years, to a nickel plate. This means that the light is much more resistant to any kind of corrosion, damage, and should last a much longer time. Under this plating is still the aluminum bronze, or AB2 as we call it. So it is still the same material you see on your propellers and props. So it is incredibly strong, and now with this extra layer of coating, we've improved the light again to make it last even longer. The barrel here is anodized aluminum, which is pretty much the same for all underwater lights. They use a mixture of the two metals, and to make sure they're bonded correctly, we provide a bonding point here, so when you have finished the install, you can put your eyelet on here for your cathodic bonding system, tighten that down, and that will bite into the material and protect the entire system from electrolysis. The light unit itself is pretty small for its size, and is a fully removable from the inside unit. So once the light is installed, this through hole is installed in the boat, this unit is fully serviceable from inside the boat. To install, obviously, like I've said, you cut the 2 3/4 inch hole, prepare the core. If it's a balsa core or if it's solid, you can go straight ahead and put your 42 or 5200 on the light, install it and screw this down to the hull, and then tighten these down exactly the same as you would on a transducer. Once they're nice and tight and the sealant is squeezed out from the front side and been cleaned off, this light is now sealed and ready to be used. It comes fully assembled, and we recommend you install it fully assembled. However, you can take these apart, install the housing, and then install the insert at a later date. Just make sure that if you do that, if you take the insert out, make sure that you clean off all the debris on the inside. It's very dry, very nice, before you put the insert back in. So coming with the light is 6 foot worth of cable, and this comes with a very good waterproof connector, which then would plug into the driver box, which comes with each light. This is what's called a DMX driver, meaning that because it's a full color change of 4 individual colors, red, green, blue, and white, you need an interface such as this driver to tell the lights what color to change. With the 4 colors that come on this, you can go anywhere from 1 to 6 million different shades of color. By adjusting the levels on your DMX controller, which we have done in a different video. So on the inside of this driver, this is again a fully IP68 driver box. To access the inside, you obviously have 4 screws which hold it in place. I'll make a note of these screws because this is important, is that these screws in no way interfere with the waterproofness of this box. So as you can see, the gasket for this box goes on the inside of these screws, and where these screws go is completely independent from the inside of the box. I thought I'd point that out because it just shows that it is completely IP68. Additionally, you see some holes down here. This is why I mention it. These are the mounting points for the box. You don't want to drill anywhere else in this box or in the lid or in the bottom. You want to use these points only because, again, they are isolated just like the screws for the lid from the inside of the box and outside of the gasket seal on the lid. So once we've said that, what you have inside in the box here is the connection to the light. So this is where the connection will plug in. What you do here is you line up the arrows on this connector here, and then this plug, and this then clicks straight in. To remove, twist and pull. Hard to do when you're holding with one hand on this side, but that's how you do it. The power then will come in through this connection here and then into this terminal block. There's also a fuse here, so whilst we also recommend you making sure you use a suitable size breaker for how many lights you're putting on, you want to make sure that this fuse is not bypassed either. Power comes in into the fuse, and then you also have an extra out here, so if you want the power then to continue on to the next driver, you can then double up in here and come out of this cable gland into the next one. As you can see, we supply these plastic grommets in here which make these particular cable glands watertight. That comes as preset standard from the factory. If you want to go out to the next one, you basically take that out and replace it with your wire coming in. Make sure it's tightened nice and down, and this is now fully sealed. What you have down here are the DMX connections for your underwater lights. So from your DMX controller, there will come a 3-cable system, a Cat 5, Cat 6, or just a standard 3-core cable. We recommend a Cat 5 for this installation. Make sure it's twisted, it's not solid, because the solid strand stuff can break quite easily when a boat is flexing. So you want to make sure this installation lasts a long time. So Cat 5 stranded. Comes in through the black cable gland or down here, and then terminates in here. If you're going to the next driver, which you need to go from the controller to the driver to driver to driver. You'll come in, take this plug out, and then go out to the next one. On the last one, leave this in so it remains watertight, and we also supply with our controllers, a DMX terminator, and that will go in the last out of this driver, meaning everything's kept nice and the loop is closed in. So there's a lot of technical information there, which I do recommend you go to our website, or if you have any questions about installation, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and we can definitely run through that for you, just to make sure there's no problems or concerns. So that is the driver itself. I want to talk a little bit very quickly about the white and blue lights that we also supply in the QT100. Because they're individual colors, they don't need any programming or controllers. They come as a standalone unit. So the white or blue will come with just the cable, with no connector, with a positive negative, as does our QT80 and QT Marlin. That will plug straight into 12 or 24 volts, and you will get an immediate 10,000 lumens of power coming out of the light unit. So if we go over real quick to the website, you can obviously see we're on the Underwater Light QT100 page with the MSRP starting at $15.95. That is for white. Obviously you can see the whole material. The beam angle on this is 90 degrees, so it gets wider still as we go to a bigger light. That's because the aperture we have, which I didn't mention before, but we also still have the same convex lens on this, meaning our beam pattern is a perfect circle and there's no loss of light throughout that entire circle. Lumens on this, 10,000 lumens on white. Kelvin, white light only, is 6,500 Kelvin. And typical life expectancy on this is 40,000 hours, which is the same for all of our underwater lights, which if you put that in context is about 8.5 hours a night for about 10 to 12 years. So that's if you use it every night, which very few people will. If you have any further questions or would like some more technical information about this light, please feel free to visit the website at www.underwaterlights.com, or you can call us here at the office at 954-604-4024. You're also free to pay us a visit anytime you would like. The address is on the website. Or you can send me an email to zack@underwaterlights.com.